In this furnace, hope is a luxury. Only endurance has value. I am chained alone atop the sun. Anvil, a black slab of rock jutting from a sea of scorched sand. No shelter, no fellow prisoners. Only me and Solaris's burning glare. My name is Thalos, once a general, now a starving animal kept alive on a daily ladle of filthy water and a chunk of hard, dry bread, just enough to keep my heart beating. I accept this torment not because I am weak, but because it is a contract. As long as I endure the humiliation here, my wife and my son will be kept safe as slaves in the cool palace. I tell myself every blister on my skin is a full meal for my boy. I count time by the faint, stubborn rhythm in my chest. The iron collar around my neck is so hot it has melted the skin beneath and fused metal to flesh, yet I do not dare tear it off. Breaking the chain means breaking the contract. That is Solaris's game. He wants to watch a general's will be ground down slowly, like grain beneath a millstone. But today the routine of suffering breaks. No ladle of water arrives. Instead, a pure gold palanquin is carried down from the sun tower. Solaris steps out among kneeling guards, his white cloak so pristine it holds not a single speck of dust. He looks at me charred, filthy, like a child studying an ant beneath a magnifying glass. I'm still alive, Solaris. I haven't broken the contract. My wife, my son, are they still all right? Solaris smiles a smile so bright it turns cruel. With the solar scepter, he taps the chain at my throat. You truly are loyal, Thalos. You think sitting here and roasting will buy them peace. You think I'm a merchant. No, I am a god. He flicks his wrist. Mist rises from the scepter and forms an illusion. I hold my breath, expecting to see my wife sweeping floors or my son asleep. But no, I see my wife forced to kneel as a footstool for officials at a banquet, and my son collared, crawling across the floor, picking up scraps like a dog. My blood boils hotter than the sun above. You swore on the honor of a pharaoh. You said they would be treated well. Honor is for humans. For animals I have only stalls and whips. Look, your son is even more obedient than you. He knows to wag his tail when there's a bone. I roar and lunge. The chain snaps taut, crushing my throat until I cough and choke. Solaris doesn't flinch. He raises the scepter and fires a thin heat beam into my shoulder. The stench of seared flesh rises. I collapse not from pain but from helplessness. A bitter truth locks into place. My endurance is not sacrifice. It is entertainment. The more I endure, the more they are trampled. Keep barking, Thalos. Your screams make my wine taste better. Tomorrow I'll bring your son here so he can see how pathetic his father looks. He leaves laughter echoing under the killing sun. I lie there with my face pressed to hot stone. Tears can't even fall before they evaporate. I stare at the chain, at my scorched, bony hands. I need power, not the power to endure anymore, but the power to tear things apart. I would sell my soul if it meant smashing that smile from his face. When the sun sinks, darkness rises from the tombs below, thick, cold, alive. The shadow beneath my rock suddenly twists, separating into the shape of a seductive woman. A massive scorpion tail arching like a crown behind her. Selketis. She walks closer, bare feet, unafraid of the heat. Her cool fingers touch the burn on my shoulder. You look more like ash than a warrior, Thalos. Is that all your loyalty bought you humiliation? Get lost, witch. I have nothing left for you to use. You still have the most precious thing of all, hatred. I don't need your torn soul. I need a monster, one that can walk through Solaris's fire and rip out his heart for me. I can give you an unbreakable body, strength to snap every chain. And the price? That weak heart beating in your chest. It feels pain, fear, exhaustion. Give it to me. I will replace it with an obsidian heart. You will no longer feel heat. You will no longer feel pain. But you will also lose warmth forever, the warmth of tenderness. You will become living stone, cold and brutal. I look toward the distant palace where my son is treated like an animal. What does warmth mean if I cannot protect them? If being human only means suffering, then I would rather be stone so I can crush my enemies. Do it. I don't need a beating heart just to beg. Selketis smiles. Her scorpion tail extends. The glossy black stinger points straight at my left chest. Good. Let stone replace flesh. Don't die before you bathe the palace in blood. One clean thrust. I don't scream. I only feel darkness flood my chest, swallowing pain and changing me into something no longer human. I must shatter the sun anvil before dawn. Pain doesn't disappear. It only changes color from the red blaze of fire to the black void of the abyss. I stand atop the heated rock and look down at my own torn open chest. Selketis has placed a cold block of obsidian inside. No blood sprays, only dark veins spread under my skin like poisonous roots. First I feel cold, then numb, and then I no longer feel the desert's burning heat at all. I grip the red-hot iron chain in my hand and crush it into powder without even narrowing my eyes. I understand half of me has died, and the only living part left is thirst for revenge. Selketis doesn't wait for me to adjust. She turns away. Her massive tail sweeps across the sand, carving a spiral path that descends into the earth. Follow me, Thalos. Don't let the sun see the freak we just created. The sand will hide you until my legion awakens. I follow, leaving the empty sun anvil behind. We descend deep beneath the desert through tunnels tangled with fossilized roots. The air is thick with sulfur and death. I need no torch. My new eyes cut through darkness as if it were daylight. Then the cavern opens into a colossal hall directly beneath the foundations of Solaris's capital. Before me is not an animal den, but a forgotten kingdom. Thousands of statues, 2-meter scorpion warriors, stand motionless in the dark, holding spears and halberds, forged from human bone and black stone. They are not dead. They are in hibernation, waiting for their queen's command. I shudder not with fear, but with realization. Selketis has been feeding her hatred for thousands of years. She didn't save me simply to save me. She wants to use me as the spearhead of an invasion. With an army like this, why do you still need wreckage like me? Selketis stops before a throne of black stone and strokes the face of a guard statue. They are strong, but they fear Solaris's light. His aura burns their chitin in an instant. I need a guide, someone with human flesh, but a heart of stone, someone who can walk through that halo and extinguish that false sun. You are my living shield, Thalos. I look at my gray hands and calculate the truth. I am a key, a sacrifice, and also the only one who can end this war. I nod, accepting my role in this brutal play. At the same time, above ground, dawn hasn't broken, but the unnatural silence wakes Solaris. He goes to the sun anvil to check his favorite toy. What he finds are shattered pieces of chain and a dried pool of black blood on the stone. No corpse, no escape trail. Solaris stops at the edge, his eyes darkening as he stares at the broken links. He picks one up and feels an unnatural cold still clinging to it. A chill run down his spine, something he had forgotten for a long time. Fear? He understands the chain was not cut with tools. It was crushed by bare hands. Sentinel, summon the mirror. Guards. A beast has escaped its pen. And it didn't go alone. He looks at a lie in the sand leading into a black abyss. He knows Selketis has returned. He retreats to the high tower and orders the entire thermal lens system activated. He tells himself he will melt this whole desert into glass if he must. Underground, I sit among a forest of spears, sharpening my will. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, I will no longer be a slave. I will be the nightmare walking against the light. The sun rises, but today it doesn't bring life. It signals war. I stand beneath a 5-meter layer of sand, listening to the thunder of royal boots above. Solaris is not foolish. He has deployed the mirror guards as a wall of blinding light before the palace gate. He believes light will burn away darkness. He's right, light can kill Selketis' scorpions. But he forgot one variable, me. I am not darkness. I am not light. I am stone, a mindless substance outside the rules of his fear. I tell myself this is not a battle. It is a slaughter. I signal with a single punch into the cavern roof. Sand collapses. I erupt from the earth like a black volcano, bursting through a golden sea. Behind me, thousands of scorpion warriors surge upward, the clatter of chitin and bone weapons rolling like thunder. Immediately, mirrored shields pivot. Hundreds of heat rays converge on me. The Mirror Guard commander screams, "Burn that monster! Protect the purity of the king!" A pillar of white light slams into me. Yesterday's Thalos would have vaporized. Today's Thalos feels nothing. I watch my skin turn gray. Cracks across my body flare as they absorb heat, but I do not hurt. The obsidian heart in my chest beats slowly, exhaling cold to balance the blaze outside. I measure the distance 50 steps to the first defensive line. I don't run. I walk. Each step shakes the ground, and my calm terrifies them more than any roar. A shattered mirror cannot reflect. Let me teach you a lesson in fragility. I charge. My first punch lands on a guard's mirrored shield. There is no clang, only an explosive crack. The shield detonates into shards, and the arm holding it snaps like dry wood. I grab him by the collar and throw him into his comrades like a sack of sand. The formation breaks. Heat rays go wide, raking the sand and carving molten glass trenches. At first, they try to hold the line. Then panic spreads when their blades chip against my stone flesh. Finally, they collapse under the force of a tank made of meat and rock. Selketis glides behind me, her massive tail sweeping aside would-be ambushes. Her voice is a thrilled whisper. "Good. Grind them down. You are the hammer, and they are cheap jewelry." Suddenly, a massive shadow blots out the sun. The gilded sentinel Solaris's 2.5-meter bodyguard steps forward to block my path. He wears thick, heavy gold armor and carries a great khopesh blade heated to a glowing red. He says nothing. He only roars and brings the blade down on my head with enough force to split an elephant. I don't dodge. I raise my stone arm to meet it. A violent hiss explodes as molten metal kisses cold stone. The blade sinks slightly into my arm, then sticks. The sentinel freezes in shock. He has never seen anyone take that strike bare-handed. You call temperature power numb. Callous is power. I tighten my grip and crush his blade. Before he can react, I drive a punch straight into his solid gold breastplate. The armor caves inward. I hear ribs crumble. He topples backward, heavy, motionless. I look at my hand. His cut has left a pale scar in my stone skin, but no blood. I watch the remaining soldiers throw down weapons and flee toward the palace gate. I realize I have become something beyond human. I feel no fatigue, no ragged breath. I am a destruction machine advancing toward a programmed target. On the sun tower, I see Solaris watching. He isn't smiling now. His hand clenches the scepter. And strangely, he neither orders another attack nor runs. He steps backward into the Hall of Mirrors, pulling open the grand doors like an invitation daring me. I look back at Selketis. She nods, signaling the Scorpion army to halt outside. She knows this final fight is mine alone. "I'm here, Solaris. Prepare your last words." I step over the sentinel's body and enter the palace's shadowed gate. I trust this unbreakable strength. But I don't yet understand Solaris's silence is more dangerous than 1,000 heat rays. I must finish him before he speaks. I enter the Hall of Mirrors. There is no darkness here. Every wall is a giant mirror reflecting Solaris into countless versions of himself. The glare twists space, but my dead black eyes do not flinch. I see his true body standing at the center beneath the god's eye, the largest lens that concentrates light. He wears no armor, only a thin silk cloak, as if waiting to serve tea, not to face an executioner. I tell myself arrogance will be his grave. I calculate the shortest path and abandon defense. I lunge. Solaris raises the scepter. A white torrent of heat blasts into my chest. Before I would have melted. Now the obsidian in my chest greedily devours the heat. My stone skin glows red-orange like embers, yet I don't stop. I tear through the beam with bare hands and reach him like a landslide. I seize his throat. The softness and warmth of his neck in my cold stone grip is satisfying. I lift him off the ground. His legs flail. The scepter clatters to the floor. He chokes, face burning red. I have won. This power is absolute. One more squeeze and his reign ends. It's over, Solaris. Gods don't bleed, yet you do. I wait for him to beg. He doesn't. Even as he suffocates, his eyes hold none of the fear I crave. He curls his mouth into a twisted, triumphant grin and raises one finger pointing behind me at a mirrored wall. Look, again, you idiot! I turn. The largest mirror slides aside, revealing a glass chamber. My heart, or rather the stone in my chest, stutters. My wife and my son are inside. They are bound to golden chairs. From their chests, transparent tubes filled with a golden liquid snake across the floor, connecting directly into the back of Solaris's. I freeze. My grip loosens in shock. Solaris gulps air and his smile turns savage. Did you think I sat on this throne for 3 years just to admire the view? I linked their blood vessels to mine with the lifelink right. As long as my heart beats, they live. If my heart stops, the valves shut, and their blood will surge backward until the last drop. You're lying! You're just trying to scare me! I roar and clamp down again. Instantly inside the glass chamber, my wife convulses violently, eyes rolling back, foam at her lips. My son screams, clutching his chest as if someone is crushing his heart. I release Solaris as if electrocuted. He drops, coughing, rubbing his bruised throat. Inside the chamber, my wife and son slowly settle, breathing thinly like a candle in wind. Solaris stands, adjusts his cloak, and steps close to me, who now stands rigid as a true statue. He pats my cheek, a gentle slap that hurts more than 1,000 blades. Try again, Thalos. Squeeze harder. I'll only feel a tightness in my chest, but your wife will feel like her lungs are being crushed. Your stone body protects you from pain, but who will protect them from mine? I stare at my massive stone hands. These hands can smash steel, walk through fire, and now they are completely useless. I understand the trap. The harder I strike him, the faster I slaughter my own family. I am an immortal god imprisoned by my own power. Kneel. I don't move, trembling with rage. I said kneel, or do you want your son's ribs to break? He punches his own chest hard. Inside the glass, my son coughs up blood. I collapse. My stone knees slam into the mirrored floor, cracking it. I bow my head and let humiliation flood me. I have no other choice. I sold my heart for power and forgot to sell my weakness. Solaris picks up the scepter. He doesn't kill me, because killing me now would be too easy. He wants to play. He gathers all his energy into the scepter's tip and swings it into my face. A strike like thunder. I feel no pain, but the force hurls me backward over the balcony of the Hall of Mirrors. I fall. Wind screams past my ears. Solaris's arrogant face shrinks above me. I plunge through dusty cloud layers, through shimmering heat haze, and slam into the bottom of the furnace where I began. The ground shakes. Dust explodes. I lie amid slag and ash. My obsidian body is intact, not a scratch. But inside I am shattered. Selketis steps from the shadows, watching with cold eyes, unsurprised. Perhaps she knew. Or perhaps she is calculating how much this piece is still worth. I can't kill him! Not from the outside. Then we'll find a way to kill him from the inside. I look up at the sky. The sun tower still stands, pouring out its false, deadly light. This war is not over, but I know I cannot win with fists anymore. I need a way to corrode his soul, just as venom has corroded mine. Honestly, this is a passion project that my team and I have poured our hearts into, working alongside AI. We know it's far from perfect, so if you spot any issues or have thoughts, please share them below. We truly value every single piece of feedback. And if Thalos' story has hooked you this far, if you want to see part 2, just let us know in the comments. At the end of the day, this channel isn't just ours, it's yours. It becomes what you want it to be if we build it together.